Hello bosses, welcome back to my channel. I am Andrea Patrick, the BU boss, and if you are here, that means you're wanting to learn more about being an effective, efficient, and aware leader. So congratulations to you. Listen, we're talking about clutter today. If you have not been a part of my 5 C's to BU series, make sure you check that out in the description box below or inside my playlist. I've got a few videos so far, but there are definitely more to come. But today I want to sort of piggyback off of the podcast I did last week talking about clutter and how if you want to find your focus, to be more focused, to stay focused so that you can achieve your goals, you have to get rid of the clutter because it clouds your mind. It keeps you from moving forward. And it also is the bearer of bad news altogether. So you want to get rid of it. I'm sharing all of that over my podcast. And that's kind of how this series is working. On the podcast, I'm sharing with you some of the information, tips, tools, techniques, and things like that. But here on the podcast, I'm showing you how I am walking that out in my own life. And so today, I am sharing with you this closet reorganization. It's my pantry closet, and it got me so flustered, guys. When you are cluttered in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, you can't move forward. You can't be productive. And I found myself not wanting to cook, not wanting to be in the kitchen, frustrated because the kids said they didn't have what they wanted in terms of snacks, and I couldn't stand it. So I decided to do something about it, get rid of the clutter, and organize that pantry. So I'm going to show you how I'm walking out my 5 C's to be you in my own life. So stay tuned and watch for that. Now, don't forget, at the end, you can always grab my BU guide. If you're in business and you want to learn how to clear your thoughts, find focus, and be consistent and authentic in the way you promote your business or your brand, that guide is going to be so helpful. If you are that person that needs to do something different to get a different result, like I did for my April shower challenge, I have a CEO mindset challenge waiting for you in the description box also. That is a great tool to get you started, to jumpstart or act as a catalyst for change in your life so that you can begin to do those things that you want to do in an authentic way without feeling like you're out of your element. You're doing it because you want to do it. So make sure you grab those things in the description box and stay tuned to the end, and you can see all there is to see about that guide. But without further ado, let's get to this closet situation. I've got some steps that come out of a result of all the stuff we did over in the podcast and talked about in the podcast. So I am actually showing you how I'm walking those steps out here today through my closet organization. So let's get going, shall we? There are quite a few things that I talked about when I first started this video. When I was in my closet, I shared with you that the very first thing I wanted to do was sort of come up with a plan to decide what and how I wanted my pantry to look. Well, I also wanted to share with you a few other tips. And the first one, aside from what I just shared with you, is that when you're out and about, instead of just picking up anything, go ahead and start looking on Pinterest or on the website and find some ideas for how you want your pantry to look or how you want your project to end. Maybe your project isn't a pantry. So the very first thing to do is to sort of start scoping out some ideas to determine what types of tools you'll need and what you want your project to look like on the back end. So that is tip number 1 or 2, however you're looking at it, because really I do want you to start picking up some things along the way to help you organize. But before you spend money, make sure you know exactly what you want your closet to look like and what you already have. Take inventory of what you already have, and then get some ideas of how you want your pantry to look. And then when you're out and about, you can start picking up some of those things. So those are my first 2 tips. Okay, so now that you have looked up everything, you've decided how you want your pantry to look, you're really excited about it, and you have started picking up little items as you are out and about at the Dollar Tree or Walmart or Target, wherever you may be, then the next thing I want you to do is sit down and really start thinking about the areas you need to have in your pantry. So if it's not a pantry organization that you need, then definitely think about the steps or the elements of the project that are absolutely necessary so that you can get rid of all the clutter, get rid of everything that is impeding your progress and create sort of the perfect environment for you to thrive. So for me, again, we're talking about my pantry. So I sat down and I really mapped out what I needed my areas in my pantry to look like. So that is step number 3. Now, step number 4 is going to be to look at things like, how do I want to store items? What's going to make it easier for me to see what I need when it's time to come in here and make dinner, or when it's time to go grocery shopping, or when it's time to, put together a meal, a snack, or something like that for the kids to have something. So I wanted to look at how I wanted to store different food things. What did I have? What was I keeping? What was going to go away? For my new lifestyle. As you know, I am doing more vegetarian-based meals here based on my April shower challenge. So if you have not seen that playlist, make sure you go check that out. But it was all about defining those tools that I needed to use, and the different types of canisters that I was going to look at. I needed to see, what were my non-food items, like my appliances or my napkins or my food trays or any entertainment dishware, things like that I didn't use every single day, but I still needed to have a place for. So I wanted to take inventory of that and determine what I was keeping and what I wasn't keeping, because there were some duplicates, which was contributing to the clutter. Okay, now that I know exactly how I want my pantry to look, I have gone around when I'm out and about and picked up the various tools that I want to use and the containers that I want to use. And I know exactly what appliances and non-food items I have and I plan to keep. I can go ahead and start the reorganization. Oh my gosh, I pulled out everything. You know what it is like when you're trying to clear out clutter. Well, the first thing you have to do is pull everything out. Get everything out of the pantry and figure out what you're going to keep and what's going to go. Then, now that you have all of your tools in place, you can start putting that food in those canisters that you purchased, and you can start dreaming up and cleaning up this beautiful new pantry. So if that is not a pantry for you, then what you can consider is the fact that you now have a plan. You have all the tools you need to manifest that plan. And so now it's time to get to work with step 1 of the plan. For me, it was pulling everything out of the pantry and getting a good, clean pantry shelf area to start putting everything back. And then once I did that, I went ahead and started moving all of the food into the containers that I wanted them to go in. So for you want to make sure that in your plan, now that you have all your elements and you have your plan together, that you are creating those circumstances for optimal success that are going to help you be very successful in what it is you're trying to achieve, or that goal you're trying to achieve. Again, I'm applying this to my pantry reorganization, but for you, it could be anything. Remember, I'm helping you to be more efficient, effective, and aware as a leader in life, career, or business. I'm showing you how I'm walking out these principles in my life with my pantry organization. So back to that, okay? Because we could go on and on. But now that we have all of that, we've cleaned the pantry, now it's time to start putting everything back, but we have to start deciding on areas. Do we want to designate areas for different things? And for me, I have children. I have a daughter who has special needs. I want to make sure she can grab her snacks easily and independently. And so again, there will be areas, a kid zone, so that she can get what she needs when she needs it, and me not have to, help her. She could be independent with that. So these are things that I had to think of to complete my organization. You too may have in your project areas of concern, or that definitely need to be designated or delegated, as it may be, in your business. So you want to identify those things before you start putting things back in place. All right, now that I've decided on all that, I know the different zones I need, I can begin to start putting things back in my pantry. And it was so exhilarating, guys, to have this all put together. Now, this went on over a course of several days, because once I pulled everything out, I cannot believe how much stuff there was. I mean, a ton of stuff that was out, and it took me a very long time to get it all put up, thrown away, or donated. So give yourself some time. That's another thing that I want you to remember in your project. Everything may not happen all at once. It may not happen all in a day, but you have to go into it with the expectation that it will get done, but you still need to manage your expectations as to how long it will take. And if you have other people involved in your project, you definitely need to manage their expectations as well. But in the end, I had an amazing, beautifully organized pantry. I got rid of all of the clutter, and now I feel comfortable going into my pantry, pulling out what I need, knowing what I need and when I need to get it, and it has really made things a lot easier. I am no longer being hindered by the clutter in my pantry. I'm able to provide myself with those vegetarian meals, planning my meals, prepping my meals the way I wanted to without the frustration and overwhelm. I hope these tips have helped you as you begin your new project, whether it's organizing your pantry or it's organizing some element of your business, or if it's getting your career in line and with the projects on your job. I don't know, but I hope that these tips have helped you. Make sure that you go into your project with a clear end in mind. What do you want to see? I want you to also look at examples and samples, research what you want so that you know the direction you need to go in. And then I want you to make sure you are planning each step of how you're going to get things done, determining any areas that need to be designated, and then executing on the purging process that might be necessary, and then putting things back in an orderly fashion so that you have now minimized that clutter and that overwhelm, and you're able to accomplish your goals. Thank you for watching me, and don't forget to grab my BU guide at the end of this video. See you next week.